At 78, Emmylou Harris reflects on her life with the calm clarity of someone who has lived fully inside music for decades. Known for her ethereal voice and ability to move effortlessly between country, folk, and Americana, she has always been an artist, guided more by emotion than by image. Her recent reflections on John Denver are not framed as revelations or dramatic confessions, but as gentle memories shared with honesty. For Harris, speaking about Denver is less about uncovering something hidden and more about honoring a connection that shaped her artistic journey. Their bond was rooted in shared musical values, simplicity, sincerity, and a deep respect for storytelling. Even now, her words carry a softness that reflects both admiration and time. There is no distance in her tone, only remembrance. It feels like an artist looking back not to revisit the past, but to acknowledge how deeply it still lives within her. Early life and the seeds of expression. Emmylou Harris grew up in a military family, moving through different environments that taught her adaptability from an early age. Her father's military service and resilience influenced her sense of discipline, while her mother encouraged creativity and expression. That balance between structure and emotion would later define her music. As a student in North Carolina, she initially pursued drama, but folk music quickly became her true calling. Inspired by artists like Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, she found herself drawn to songs that told real human stories. This shift was not sudden but inevitable, as music gradually replaced everything else. By the time she moved to New York, she was fully immersed in the folk scene, performing in small venues and building her identity as an artist. These early struggles shaped her understanding of authenticity, something she later recognized in John Denver. Both artists, in different ways, believed in music as truth rather than performance. From struggle to first recognition, Harris's early career was marked by uncertainty, financial instability, and constant self-discovery. Living in New York's Greenwich Village, she performed in coffee houses where audiences were intimate, but opportunities were limited. Her debut album, Gliding Bird, hinted at her potential but did not yet bring her mainstream recognition. During this time, she balanced motherhood, personal challenges, and the demands of an unpredictable music scene. Yet she never abandoned her artistic path. Every performance became a step forward, even when success felt distant. This period taught her resilience and patience, qualities that would later define her collaborations and career choices. When she eventually crossed paths with John Denver's music, she already understood what it meant to build a life around art rather than expectation. That shared understanding would later become a quiet foundation for their connection, even if they never framed it in formal terms. The influence of Graham Parsons. A turning point in Harris's life came when she met Graham Parsons. Their collaboration changed not only her career trajectory, but also her artistic philosophy. Parsons recognized her extraordinary vocal ability and invited her to contribute harmonies that elevated his work. Together, they created music that blended country tradition with modern emotional depth. Albums like G.P. and Grievous Angel became landmarks in country rock history. Though their partnership was brief, it was deeply formative. Parsons' death left Harris with both grief and purpose, pushing her to continue the musical path they had begun exploring together. That experience taught her how fragile artistic relationships can be, but also how lasting their influence remains. It shaped her sensitivity toward other musicians, including John Denver, whom she later recognized as another artist guided by sincerity rather than industry pressure. Building a solo identity. After Parsons' passing, Emmylou Harris stepped into her solo career with quiet determination. Her album, Pieces of the Sky, marked a defining moment, introducing her as a fully formed artist with a unique voice. She followed it with a series of critically acclaimed releases, establishing herself as a central figure in modern country music. What set her apart was not just vocal ability, but emotional interpretation. She could take a song and make it feel deeply personal, regardless of its origin. This interpretive strength became a hallmark of her style. It also made her a sought-after collaborator, someone who could elevate any musical partnership through sensitivity and intuition. When she later reflected on John Denver, she saw a similar quality in him, the ability to connect deeply with listeners without overcomplication. Both artists believed that simplicity, when honest, could be profoundly powerful. A career built on collaboration. Throughout her career, Emmylou Harris embraced collaboration as a core artistic principle. She worked with musicians across genres, from country legends to folk innovators and rock artists. Her willingness to share creative space led to groundbreaking projects, including her work with Dolly Parton and Linda Ronstadt. She also collaborated with artists like Bob Dylan, Neil Young, and Willie Nelson, building bridges across musical styles. This openness defined her career as much as her solo work. For Harris, music was never about isolation. It was about connection. That perspective made her reflections on John Denver feel natural, rather than exceptional. She saw him not as a distant icon, but as part of a larger community of artists who valued sincerity over spectacle. Their shared philosophy of music as emotional communication made their occasional collaborations feel effortless and genuine. The emotional core of her music. Emmylou Harris has always been drawn to songs that explore emotional depth, love, loss, longing, and resilience. Her ability to inhabit a song completely has made her one of the most respected interpreters in American music. Albums like Wrecking Ball showed her willingness to evolve, incorporating atmospheric production while maintaining emotional clarity. This artistic bravery kept her work relevant across generations. It also reflects the same authenticity she admired in John Denver. She has often described music as a form of emotional truth, something that cannot be manufactured or forced. That belief is what connects her to Denver's legacy. His songs, much like hers, were grounded in honesty and simplicity. When she speaks about him today, she is also speaking about a shared artistic philosophy that values feeling over perfection. Remembering John Denver's humanity. When reflecting on John Denver, Harris emphasizes his sincerity above all else. She describes him as someone who lived his values openly, both on and off stage. His connection to nature, kindness, and environmental awareness was not performative, but deeply personal. Songs like Take Me Home, Country Roads reflected that simplicity and emotional accessibility. Harris recalls that what made Denver special was not just his voice, but his presence. He carried a sense of calm that influenced everyone around him. His unexpected death in 1997 left a lasting emotional impact on those who knew him. For Harris, the loss was not just of a fellow musician, but of a kindred spirit who shared her belief in music as a force for connection. Even now, she speaks of him with a quiet sadness, balanced by gratitude. A friendship rooted in authenticity. The relationship between Emmylou Harris and John Denver was never defined by publicity or industry narratives. Instead, it was built on mutual respect and shared artistic values. They connected through music rather than image, and that connection remained consistent over time. Harris often recalls their harmonies as something instinctive, where voices blended naturally without effort. There was no need for overthinking or structure, just instinct and emotion. That simplicity is what made their collaborations memorable. Even though they never released a full joint project, their shared performances left a lasting impression on audiences. For Harris, the friendship represented something rare in the entertainment world. a relationship free from competition, grounded instead in mutual admiration and creative trust. A legacy of music and meaning. As Emmylou Harris reflects on her life at 78, her words about John Denver feel less like a statement and more like a quiet tribute. She does not frame their connection as extraordinary in a public sense, but as meaningful in a human one. Both artists believed in music as a form of honesty, and both built careers that prioritized emotional truth over commercial expectation. Her reflections remind listeners that artistic legacy is not only measured in awards or records, but in the connections formed along the way. Denver's influence, like her own, continues through songs that still resonate across generations. In sharing her memories, Harris offers a reminder that music can create bonds that remain long after the voices have faded.